Okay, it is November 18th, around 12:19 p.m. in the afternoon on the East Coast. This is not financial advice. I just want to give you guys an update what I've been doing. Let me get rid of the disclaimer. I haven't done this. This is like my first video all year long. So, yeah, my last video was December 29th. That's when Bitcoin was just approaching 42,000. So we've been more than doubled that. And I've just been stacking sats really since then. I try to put out all those videos in the bear market to try to get people to buy crypto then. And then now, I still been buying all these little green lines here, buy orders, just DCA. And what I've been doing, let's see now, back when I did my last video, the ETFs were not approved. I was talking about how they were probably going to get approved. And I think I was saying we probably would reach just top line here and come down, which we kind of did, but we didn't come down to these lower bands. But I was buying all the way up here, thinking that the ETF might have enough momentum to push us through here. So I wanted to keep buying, and I'm still buying right now because we're still in this like green zone. The overbought area is probably this red zone here or just below. And you could believe, well, this could be a super cycle, and I've heard this for the last two cycles prior. Never happens. It's just I think enough people double their money or quadruple their money, and they're going to just take profits. So, and then when they do that, they take profits. A lot of the smart people, they buy back cheaper after the price drops like 50%, and then when it goes up 20% in 1 or 2 days, they sell. So that keeps creating a sell pressure. They keep buying the dips and then selling the rips for a whole year, and then we have that 1 year bear market every 4 years. So I think that cycle is still going to repeat, even if the United States government has a strategic Bitcoin reserve. So Bitcoin right now is hitting 92,000, more than double since the last time I did my video. I'm just going to go through some charts real quick, kind of the charts I've kind of been looking at on a regular basis, but basically I've just been looking at the Bitcoin chart. I don't really have that much altcoins except for my big bag of million token, which is not doing well, which I'll talk about at the end of the video. So here's another chart of a Bitcoin. So basically on any time scale, it looks like it's just going to go up. I mean, I don't think we're going to hit these lower bands again in the green area, just because the elections are behind us, and usually Bitcoin rips after the elections every 4 years. That's like when we enter the banana zone. So we're kind of like in the beginning stages of the banana zone. So the 4 year cycles are getting shorter and shorter. So normally, I would say, if you asked me 4 or 8 years ago, the cycle will end probably in December or late November of 2025. I think it could be somewhere around July of next year, give or take a couple months, which we'll look at the Pi cycle top indicator chart in a moment. But yeah, right now, I mean, if this is just what I would do, this is not financial advice. So if you're new to the market and you have no Bitcoin, just dollar cost average, every week, every paycheck, whatever you're comfortable with. My neighbor came to me, asked me for advice, and that's what I kind of told him. I said, if you have zero Bitcoin, just dollar cost average, don't look at the price, and know that, if the bear market comes sooner, if the price drops for a year, just buy into the bear market. Just have that mentality. So, I wouldn't back up the truck now, even though you could argue you could do that, because usually the prices around election, they don't, the next bear market prices don't even come back to those levels. So like between 70 and 90,000, if the top of the market will be, 120,000 or 500,000, I don't know what it will be. But when the bear market comes, we probably will be somewhere between 70 and $90,000. It could be even higher than that. So you could say, well, back up the truck now, and then, sell, 7 months from now or 8 months from now, if you want to take just some quick profit. But if you're a hodler, maybe back up the truck after we have the 1 year bear market. It's just all depends upon your risk tolerance. So, my neighbor didn't have a high risk tolerance. So, I don't think he can handle backing up the truck and putting down, thousands of dollars and then handle a bear market if it comes. So this is a Pi cycle top indicator, free on TradingView. So just real quick, if you're new, every time this orange line touches the green line, it's predicted to top 100% of the time. So this is the main indicator I'm looking at. I'll take into account, um, what time of the year it is. But right now, if I had to guess, if I just kind of drew these lines, it looks like they might cross around July of next year. That's why I kind of said that earlier. Uh, but if it goes up faster, these lines are crossed sooner. Typically the price goes above the green line, and then when these lines touch is when the bear market starts. We might have a double top here or something. But that's what I was saying. Like once this indicator touches, smart money sells. It's going to drop. That's 55%. You know, they're happy. They buy the dip. It'll rip another. That's 141% there. And they're like, why would they hold? I mean, they probably took profits here thinking they were going to retire. They could buy back cheaper at 50% just literally a couple months later. And it's still like early in the year. It's not toward the end of the year. People think, oh, it's going to go higher. And then, these people that just bought the dip, they're going to sell the rip. So, that could happen again here. We'll just have to wait and see. So that this pi cycle top indicator is a major chart I'm watching because I could have retired. I had a goal in mind, which it was hit at the last top, but it only lasted for like a couple of days. I guess I got greedy, and I should have sold and bought back cheaper and probably doubled my Bitcoin stack, but I didn't. Now my portfolio balance is even higher than what it was back then, and you could say, well, you could sell now, but knowing what past cycles do, we're just entering the banana zone. We're just starting more formal with governments buying Bitcoin strategic reserve, possibly no tax on crypto. Man, if that happens, why would you even own stock, right? I mean, wouldn't most people sell their stock and just buy crypto if there's no tax on it? It's like an unlimited Roth IRA with no limit on age for withdrawal. Man, if that happens, I don't think it's going to happen. I'll believe it when I see it. But if it happens, I think a lot of money is going to come out of stocks first, then probably real estate. It's bound to happen. But no tax on crypto. Why would you own anything else? I mean, there should be really no tax on money. I mean, it's common sense. Like if you're going from another country to another country and you're exchanging currencies, there's no tax on that. So there's a strong argument that's the way it should be. And I could keep talking on and on hours why it shouldn't be taxed, but I digress. Next. So MicroStrategy. I mean, you'd have to be living under a rock if you don't know about MicroStrategy. So I won't go into any detail, but I did want to move my IRA money. So my IRA money was in Grayscale way before there were, the Bitcoin ETFs. They had a 2% fee. I know they're trying to reduce fees with their mini trust funds, but I mean, they still suck. I'm going to show you in a moment. So my plan was to get out of Grayscale at the top of this cycle, and just bite the 2% fees and then transfer it over to like cash, and then the bear market, get into like iBet or something like that, something with low fees. But yeah, MicroStrategy, the more and more I see this, it's kind of like a leverage long on Bitcoin. You can get like a 1.5x on your Bitcoin as far as money terms. So I was watching this MicroStrategy divided by Bitcoin, and as you can see, it generally goes up, and it generally doesn't go below this like exponential ribbon on the daily chart. So when it hit here, like on November 6th, I just said, I'm going to just sell all my Grayscale and put it all in MicroStrategy. And that's just a percentage of my whole portfolio, but it's a pretty big chunk. And that's all IRA money. So, I don't have to worry about taxes on that. And then you could buy and sell that as much as you want. I mean, I'm not going to do that, but, I think at the top of the market, I probably will sell my MicroStrategy shares. And hopefully we'll buy back cheaper if we have a 1-year bear market. Now, MicroStrategy also probably will tank a lot faster than Bitcoin when the bear market comes. So that's another reason you probably want to pull the trigger on that if you want to not hold it for many, 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 many years. I'm sick of holding through bear markets. So I got in at, I think, November 6th. I just cashed everything out and put it in MicroStrategy, which happened to be a very good move because I got in when it was like $251, and I don't think it even got below that since I bought it. And I know that could be high for a lot of people that were in MicroStrategy way before me. Congratulations. I kind of understood it, but when he started borrowing more and more money, and he doesn't seem to want to stop, then I'm like, okay, I can't do that at home. The best I could do is remortgage my house, take the cash, and buy Bitcoin with it. But if he's going to be doing it, then fine. I'll just put in my IRA money in that, and let him do all the work. And because of the FOMO, he will outperform what I could do with my house money, because I would just basically get 1-to-1 where he can, basically leverage it long. So if you're thinking about getting MicroStrategy, you think it's expensive, you might want to look at something like this where you just look at the exponential ribbon, and then if it kind of dips, if it touches it or goes below it, for me that was telling me, hey, I'm gonna buy. I kind of just stopped everything, got on my computer, and bought it. So MicroStrategy, since I bought it, is up like almost 50%. My chart's showing me like 48.7%, and since November 6th. So that was like 12 days ago. Crazy, 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 crazy. So, why be in an Bitcoin ETF that's giving you like 23% when you get double that with MicroStrategy? That's probably double the risk, but only in a bear market, I think. And I'm sure more and more companies are going to be doing this. Maybe not to the extent Michael Saylor is, but they're going to just put Bitcoin on their balance sheet. But for comparison, that same time period for Grayscale, it was up 22%. So, if I had not sold my IRA money, it would have gone up 22% in the same time period versus 48.7% with MicroStrategy. I bet 23% versus Grayscale 22%. So gold versus Bitcoin, gold goes down compared to Bitcoin. Okay, if you flip it around and you take Bitcoin divided by gold, it kind of just looks like the Bitcoin chart. But you could put moving averages on it, and I've shown this many years ago in the past. If you want to wait and these moving averages, you get the golden cross here, and you can kind of like, okay, well, that's the beginning of the bull market. But yeah, we are actually at all-time highs or from previous cycles. Now, if you take the Bitcoin price divided by the money supply, we're actually a little bit higher than the all-time highs from late 2021 to April, late 2021. I don't have that chart put up, but if you divide it by the M2 money supply, we're actually higher than previous cycle levels. So your purchasing power, actually, you could buy more with it. So let's see now, ETH versus Bitcoin. I mean, this is just very much a big disappointment. Like when I got my Grayscale trust fund, I put half of my money in Bitcoin trust fund and the other half in the Ethereum Grayscale fund. And so, looking back, this is why Bitcoin maxis say just stay away from altcoins. So yeah, when I sold all my Grayscale, I sold all my Ethereum that I had in that fund too. It's all in MicroStrategy. I was, I years ago when Ethereum was like the number one altcoin, which I guess it might be still is by market cap, but it was outperforming Bitcoin, right? It was kind of doing this from here to here, and I figured it would continue to do that, but other things happened to come and play. Two things I'm thinking off the top of my head. One was Solana. I mean, it's cheaper, it's faster, it's doing 7 times more in volume per day. The new devs are going to Solana. All the meme coins are on Solana. Ethereum's slow, costs more in fees. The new people that are coming into crypto now, they're all going on Solana. So the second thing that comes to my mind is liquidity. Okay, this is a big topic here. So this guy, I think his name's Fred Krueger or Dot Krueger's YouTube channel, but In one of his videos, it really hit me. He said, "What moves market is liquidity." Now, I kind of knew that, but I didn't really understand it to this extent. And then it just kind of hit me was like on my Twitter page, I think I pinned like, "Don't fight the Fed." The Fed, when they increase rates, it's harder to borrow money. They're basically decreasing liquidity. So liquidity right now is going into those ETFs. Everybody like me in the past who have IRA money, 401k money, or whatever, you want that Bitcoin exposure to go tax free, you put it in a Bitcoin ETF like IBIT or whatever the other 7 or 8 of them are. All that money is going in there because people don't want to manage their keys, for one thing. For people that don't have IRA, whatever. But man, if you have an IRA money and you're not putting it in Bitcoin right now, I don't know. I don't know. But liquidity, all that money is going into ETFs. Like IBIT's got the best running ETF ever, right? So with that said, if the money is not going into Ethereum ETF and more so into Bitcoin, I think the Bitcoin's going to outperform Ethereum. Not to mention that in the United States, Gary Gensler said you can't stake in the Ethereum ETFs, which was like a nail in the coffin for the ETF for Ethereum. Why would you want to have an ETH ETF if you can't even get compensated on the rewards for staking? Absolutely stupid idea from the SEC, and I hope they reverse it one day. But they're just killing it. They're killing it. They're killing the Ethereum ETF idea. So that's another reason why I got out of the Ethereum grayscale. High fees, no staking rewards. And I don't think the Ethereum ETFs are going to outperform Bitcoin just for the simple fact that you can't, they won't allow staking. Maybe it'll change under the new administration. So Cardano versus Bitcoin. I mean, they've made some big moves recently. I don't like. I mean, I have some Cardano way back when. I think I made a lot of money in the 2017. I got in and out real quick because I was like, wow, I just made 20% in like 1 or 2 days. I'm gonna just take profits. And because back then I was like, well, I get like 10 or 13% a whole year in the stock market. So I got lucky. I got in and out real quick. And then I think I bought some more Cardano somewhere else, and that might even be lost in a wallet somewhere. But the vibes I get from Charles Hoskins, it just seems like so scammy. Like I remember he was out in the sea somewhere looking for a UFO crash or whatever, and he's got some Falcon thing pictures from years ago. It's just like, where do you think he's getting all that money for those expeditions and vacations? It's from the investors. So generally, I don't think Cardano will outperform Bitcoin like it did in the past. It may go up in value for like money wise, but like I think you'd be better off just in uh Bitcoin. So like if it came down here with these Cardano Bitcoin, if it comes down to these low levels here, like it did back in like late 2019, early 2020, if you bought in these low levels, it tends to rip. Now, will it rip like up here again? Maybe. I mean, he was saying how he wants to work with the government, with crypto regulation, but this is just some guy with the altcoin. I don't think the Trump administration is going to give two shits about what the Cardano founder is going to have to say. But anyway, sorry, but this guy just rambles and rambles and rambles, and it kind of reminds me of Richard Hart with Hex. The more he talked, the more that coin pumped. So like if Charles Hoskins faded away or had a heart attack or stroke, I mean, I don't think this Cardano will succeed anymore. It's just his face is pushing the pumps. And this pump was only because of the Trump administration. He was saying like he was going to work with the administration, and he's saying like Bitcoin on Cardano. I mean, haven't we learned those lessons? Like just keep Bitcoin on the blockchain in your wallet and have less risk. The one altcoin that might outperform Bitcoin is Solana. It's been going sideways versus Bitcoin since December 2023. I think it's probably going to out. I think we're going to have a breakout here. It's going to be massive. I have some Solana again, probably like on a lost wallet somewhere, small amount. If I get around to finding it, I'll find it. But right now, I'm not buying any more Sol um, at the moment. I know it's probably going to outperform Bitcoin this cycle. However, if you wait like um, 4 more years or 8 more years, I think Sol will be like the next Ethereum, right? Vitalik, he's cashing out millions here and there, and also for the foundation. I'm sure there's some heavy bag holders for Solana that they're going to be cashing out. With Bitcoin, it's pretty well distributed. There aren't any like, founding fathers. Satoshi's like the only bag holder, right? And he hasn't moved any, so I don't think he's going to be moving anytime soon. So, but Solana. If I was going to have to pick one altcoin to own, I would pick Solana, and that would be it. And I would probably sell it, mid to late next year. So gotta watch that top indicator. The stock markets are doing good, right? They look like they're at the all-time highs. The QQQ all-time highs, give or take. Ethereum again, jeez, we haven't even broke all-time highs yet. Of like the all-time high was somewhere around 4,700. So again, who's selling Ethereum? Probably Vitalik and the founders. Of course, people are pulling out like me, going into Solana or the Bitcoin ETFs or just playing Bitcoin. Um, Finally, Million Token. I saw it. Dude, I was reading the Telegram or Discord and how it went back basically down to $1. From what I read, I haven't actually researched this. Maybe somebody pulled the liquidity, and then when you sell, it's going to go down to the peg of tech lead. But basically, overall, my feeling is, this is probably going to be a write off for me when I have to sell for my retirement. This will be a write off, so I can write off the gains from Bitcoin, which will suck because I don't want to drive the price down. But you got to do what you got to do. If I have a chance to retire, I'm going to retire. So again, going back to what Fred Krueger said, what moves the market? Liquidity. Well, when Tech Lead pulled the liquidity, but he was providing liquidity through he had the 1 million tokens, right? And as people were paying for him, he was basically that liquidity pool, and Uniswap was constantly trading and selling on his behalf. He was providing liquidity. So when he announced that he wasn't going to provide a liquidity anymore, or he just said, he was encouraging the community to provide liquidity, which is smart. Otherwise, we would have had another Squid coin where if the only person providing liquidity stops providing liquidity, it's going to go to zero like in a heartbeat. So when he made that decision to pull the liquidity, that basically killed it. That's not picking on Million Token. That's just, I'm talking about any market. Okay. So liquidity moves markets. You pull the liquidity, market's going to go down. So now I don't think Tech Lead has put out a video in months. He's probably retired somewhere on vacationing or something like that. Do I see any hope for this in the future? It just depends, like, if the Million Token community believes in the project. I've always believed in tokenomics. I still believe in it. It's like there's only 1 million of these, and I'm not certainly believe 100% that you have to have this giant hash rate to secure the network. If the Ethereum network is secure enough, then so be it. But I also understand mentally, like, well, if the miners have to pay $80,000 to mine one Bitcoin and they're selling it for $80,000, that seems fair, right? They did the work, you're paying for it, equal work. So, Tech Lead, he made the coin with basically no cost to him, just, his time and effort and all that. And, he made out. He really did. You could read other people's or watch other people's YouTube videos on how much he made out on, but and the fact that he pulled liquidity too. I think what is there, 300,000 liquidity right now, pegged to Million Token on the Ethereum network. I think there's some liquidity in other networks, not as much. But he's always said on Discord and Telegram that it will always be pegged to $1. So we did test that peg. It held at $1. But if there's more pressure selling, um, it could go below $1 if he doesn't replenish that supply. It used to be pegged at $1 million. You used to see $1 million pegged at $1, and now it's like 300,000, or you could take a look. I looked at it earlier for somebody that texted me on Telegram, and I think that's what I saw. But yeah, I mean, back when Million Token came out, Uniswap was the thing to do to buy and trade altcoins. I didn't really understand the concept of liquidity, rug pulls, any of that sort of thing. But yeah, I still believed in Million Token because I believe in the tokenomics. So if there's more people that believe like that and say, hey, the tokenomics still stand and people still buy this, and if it gets picked up by somebody more popular than me or whatever, then yeah, it could succeed because it just takes more buyers and sellers. And but I think the community as a whole has given up on Million Token. There's still a lot of the hardcore people in the community that are talking about it on social apps and stuff, but it's not enough to really move the price. Let's see if I go to change the chart on this. This is the daily chart. Let me go to the weekly chart. Let's see what we got. Might take a minute to load. And there, stretch it out a bit. I mean, Bitcoin's up like 100% since the bottom, and we just touched the peg recently. So generally, when Bitcoin pumps and has a pullback, or goes sideways in accumulation, then you have the big altcoins like Ethereum or Solana pump, and at last, very least, micro cap altcoins like Million Token, they might pump, but it'll probably be briefly. So I just have to wait and see. I told myself I would wait for one more bull cycle for Million Token, and if it's still at these low levels, then I don't think it's going to be coming back, especially without any help from Tech Lead, who just seems to be MIA at the moment. So I really had a lot of high hopes for Million Token, and sad to see it just the way it is now. I really thought more people believed in it, but I think the fact that the founding father, the person who created it, pulled his liquidity. I bet you 80 to 90% of the people that were holding Million Token just said, we're out. There was too much negative press in YouTube and Twitter as it being a rug pull, and that was it. There's no coming back from that unless there's enough people in the community now that can prove that they can increase the price. Because there might be still people here that are selling. Well, obviously there is somebody here selling. I haven't bought or sold Million Token, I'm guessing, in over a year, because I just said I've got my bags are full. It doesn't matter what I do or say. It's the community. If I'm gonna just kind of watch on the sidelines. If it goes up, great. If it doesn't, lesson learned. And that's why Bitcoin maxis just kind of say stick with Bitcoin. Now, if you're really on social media and stuff like that, Ivan on Tech, he said something. I think Murad from Twitter was pumping one of the coins. And yeah, if you really want to get into altcoins, you got to follow the really popular people on YouTube and crypto Twitter and see what they're pumping, because a percentage of those people were going to buy the coin just because that person said they were going to buy it. And you kind of have to probably get in and out real quick, or get in at the bear market, buy like 10 or 20 coins, and a few of them will rip quite high in the bull market. And I did that. I bought like, oh man, I had 65 ETH at one time, and I put 1 ETH into like one altcoin. Just because I remember Da Vinci J15 was like, that's what somebody did. And he did great. And I did great too, but I didn't cash out, unfortunately. But that's another thing you could do. You could just take, I think back then, Ethereum was like $400. So put $400 on like 60 altcoins. 10 of them did so well. It was like, you know, really, really well. But I didn't know to sell at the top or whatever. And not only that, but some of the altcoins I got like zero because they migrated to something else, and you had a certain time period to migrate, and I didn't know about it, and that went to basically zero. So the more coins you have, the more you have to stay on top of things, especially with altcoins and microcaps and stuff like that. So I just don't have the time to do that. I found that the hard way. So I remember, like, if I had just, this is even before I moved my money into like IRAs for Grayscale or whatever. But I remember there was a time where I had this money, and if I put it all in Bitcoin, I could have had 100 Bitcoin, all said and done. And I remember thinking that, boy, if it goes up $1,000, I'll have, um, $10,000 increase in my portfolio or whatever. And I think Bitcoin will probably go up, $10,000 in a day in the next bull run, before it went up like $5,000 a day. And if you had 1,000, well, that's like your portfolio goes up, $100,000 or something like that. So it would have been nice to just have a nice round 100 Bitcoin. But if I had to do it all over again, that's what I should have done. I should just stayed away from Ethereum. And Bitcoin wallets are easy to do. Ethereum wallets, if you have multiple addresses, you have to have multiple ETH in each address just for gas fees. It's just kind of crazy. And yeah, that was another mistake. If you're in this for the long term, less stress, just buy Bitcoin. If that's where the liquidity is going. I remember I was saying about liquidity. TradFi money is buying Bitcoin. They're not going to be buying Ethereum, I don't think. They might be buying Solana in the future. If you buy Solana now and they have a Solana ETF gets approved, it's going to do very well, I think. But like, to have one Bitcoin now at $91,000 or $92,000, that's like a big deal now. To say that you have one Bitcoin, try to have more so you can always say you have one Bitcoin so you don't sell it, So like for me, I'm watching very carefully the Pi cycle top indicator. I'll have to sell at least half my Bitcoin, I think, because if I'm wrong and the thing goes up higher, I would like to, ride that. And if it goes down lower in price for a year market, if I get it right, which I probably won't, I would like to buy it back cheaper. And a MicroStrategy, I know that's going to drop like a rock. Because if they're leveraged long, it's going to drop that. It's going to be leveraged short. It's going to drop like 1.5, or 2 times faster than the Bitcoin price in a bear market. So, and if I sell that first, I won't be hit with taxes because this is my IRA. I'll just put that in money market fund or whatever. Hold that for a year, and then buy back MicroStrategy. Hopefully, after the 1 year bear market, probably be early January or December of next year, or January of 2026, right? If let's see now, no, so the top is December 2025, probably coming sooner. The bear market will be the end of 2025. No, not the top. Nah, I can't. It's better if I just do this on paper, but you got my drift. We have 1 more year of a bull market, and then a year of a bear market, and then I'll buy probably late that year, December. So sorry, but I work nights and I'm really, really tired right now, and I haven't even done one of these videos in like a year. So I hope you appreciate this. If anybody gets some value to it, this is kind of what I've been doing, stacking sats, and then I've moved a lot of my IRA money into MicroStrategy, and I showed you the reasons why, and perhaps a reason, or going back to the MicroStrategy versus Bitcoin, when you might want to look at this to see when you want to get in. I kind of know I got in late, but I'd rather get in late than never for MicroStrategy, and That's it for me. Everybody, have a great time. If you like this, give me a like, subscribe, comment below. You can follow me on Twitter at I don't have it up right now, but Tim_MM_hodler or something like that. I think Twitter changed their policy, so even if you're not following me, you could still see my posts. I think. So I think mine's set to private, but I don't think that prevents you from seeing my Twitter page. I think you can correct me if I'm wrong down below in the comments or whatever. But have a good one, everybody. If you have any questions, you can put it in the comments down below, or just say something in Telegram or Discord. I still kind of read those things like maybe once a week or so. Hope everybody has a good day. Goodbye. Bye bye.